Good day. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. There's a bit of conflict in the software. Install new software and trying new software, so I have a little bit of a conflict here. But anyway, thank you. Welcome for being patient and being here. And I hope you're keeping warm on this cold day. I know I am. Nice cup of coffee. And we're ready to have a chat. Now, I'm sure that most of you in this time of this lockdown and this COVID-19, and all of this happening around us, it's very difficult for people to stay positive. And it is so easy, because through all the years we've been programmed, it's so easy for us all to become negative. And I haven't met a person yet that is 100% aware and 100% positive all the time. Now, especially with the lockdown, businesses going under, people not knowing where their money is going to come from, people not knowing when they're going to be able to fly overseas, visit their families and friends, or just go for a travel for a holiday. People not knowing what the future holds because of the economy that's on the brink of collapse. And then on top of that, you get some heads of state or some political party leaders that make racial statements that's causing racial tension in the country. And crime and it's a whole myriad of things that make people negative. It's very difficult for people to stay positive, but it is necessary for people to stay positive, because if everybody just starts becoming negative, that is when things go wrong, things collapse. And so this is why this talk is today, is to explain to everybody what is negativity and why do people become negative. Now, first, we must understand what is the makeup of a person. We need to understand what emotions are. Now, all of us, everybody, experiences different emotions. And these emotions include fear, anger, love. But then there are other perceived emotions. And these are shame and guilt. Okay, now why are they perceived, you may ask? Because there's a duality to them. In this whole world, as we look around you, everything's in a duality. Life is made up of duality. And there's black, there's white, there's hard, there's soft. There's good, there's bad. There's beautiful, there's ugly. There's positive and there's negative. Okay. And why shame and guilt is a perceived emotion is because they don't have any positive side to them. It's only one side, it's negative. And they are emotions created based on controlling people. Okay, now what is meant by it? This is especially true in the family environment and even with friends. Let's take an example. When a child does something, or a child doesn't do something that the grandparent or parent wants them to do, they shift into guilt mode. And they say things like, "Look how sad you've made me by not listening to me. My heart is now broken. You do not want to do this or that for me. it means you don't love me anymore. Does this sound familiar to you? Well, some people live their lives by controlling others through making them feeling guilty about something. Shame is an emotion that stems from guilt, a perceived emotion that stems from guilt. When a person feels guilty, they feel ashamed of their actions from this guilt. Whether this action was from being intoxicated, under the influence of drugs, uninformed, or just plain ignorance, the guilt sets in. They feel guilty and ashamed at the same time. These emotions are perceived. They're not real. Now everybody knows what according to the society is correct and what is not. By the way, they were brought up, influenced in their decision-making process. Maybe they were punished as children, or even currently being punished. Maybe they were abused mentally or physically. Maybe they were influenced by some form of rigid religion or belief system. All of these processes determines how a person thinks or perceives the environment should be and the people around them. They live their lives fixated at the physical plane, fixated with their senses. They're only fixated on what they can see, feel, touch, and hear. Now, if one of these senses is damaged through hurt physically or mentally, they shut down. They fall into a state of permanent depression, which leads to illness, which leads to probable death. Sounds doomsday-ish, but it's not. People get caught up in their physical world and they cannot see beyond it. They're trapped in this world and they can't see anything that's beyond this world. Now, for that reason as well, they bring it into their spirituality. They seek God in this physical world. They look for answers on the outside. And that is why some religions and religious people personify God. They refer to God as a person. And this is how they move day by day. Now, the only time that they move out of the physical world is when they live in their minds. Okay? They either get caught up thinking about people that they're angry at, or people they have harmed, or feeling guilty for acts that happened 10 years ago in their lives. So they live in the past. They cannot let go of that anger, that shame, the punishment. So the hatred builds up, it festers, and resentment and revenge sets in, which creates on its own illnesses, as we explained, in the emotion centers of the body. Now, all of these emotions manifest in the body. And then what happens, people become more and more trapped. They fall deeper and deeper into habit of feeling sorry for themselves and resenting others and resenting the world in general. They complain non-stop, always looking for an audience to entertain with their misery. They let go of their lives and attract negativity into their lives. And events constantly go wrong in their lives. They cannot achieve anything that they set their minds to. They fail at everything. And then what happens? They ask, why is God punishing me? What did I do wrong? They go to church, they give their 10th offering, they sit, sing and praise, they walk out of the church, and what happens? They swear at the neighbors, buy Sunday paper, enjoy reading about the violence and the doomsday that's presented in front of them. So for an hour in a week, they live positively. But the rest of the time, they don't have a clue how to live their lives positively. They revert back to being negative, filled with anger and despise. Now, does this sound familiar to you? Maybe you even live your life like this. Maybe you have lived your life like this before. Whether the answer is yes or no, now is the time to recognize and do something about it. That's not worth living your life in fear, anger, shame, or guilt. So what's going to happen? You're going to hold the emotion in, and it will eat away at you like rust eating away at metal. Slowly breaking it down, dissolving it, and eventually destroying it into something useless and discarded. Now, we all have choices. No matter what your illness, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem to you, it might be serious, it might be terminal, but you have a choice. The choice is how you think. The choice is how you live your life. And your choice is how you deal with your thoughts. Your thoughts create your life. Your thoughts become your actions, and your actions create your reality. Now, a lot of people don't believe, yeah, but how can I create my reality? It's dependent on everybody else and on everything. No, it is up to you. It can be actions where you did something for someone that makes you feel good. Your actions could be where you hurt someone either out of revenge or other intentions, and it made you feel awful. Whatever your choice, you will always impact other people's lives. Now, most humans react to any given situation with a skeptical outlook in life. They will either question a situation or they will reject it. Now, something that happened to me years ago, before I knew all of this stuff, I was driving with my parents to visit my sister in a town which was a few hours away, and this was over the Christmas period. And on the road, I was driving together with two other cars, and we sort of became like road companions. And halfway there, a tire burst on my car, and this was in the middle of nowhere. Now the two cars drove on without helping me. And I thought to myself, you know what, at least they could have stopped and helped me. So we got out, we opened the boot, we took the spare tire out, and guess what? The tire was flat. So my father decided to take the tire and he hitchhiked back to the nearest town and to go and have it repaired. And about an hour later, my father returned. We put the tire back on, put the spare in, fixed, and off we went. And on the way, all the time, I was upset. We were upset and asking, why did this happen just before Christmas? What have we done to deserve this? You know, the usual complaining, negative outlook. And we were driving for about 20 minutes when we came across this horrific accident where three cars an accident and 2 of them were busy burning. The police were there, the ambulances everywhere, and it's a whole big thing. And as we drove by slowly, I saw the 2 cars that were my road companions, together with a 3rd car, and the cars were completely smashed. Then we realized, had the tire on my car not burst, we would have been in that same accident. So the point of this is, it is generally easier for people to look at a situation negatively rather than seeing the positive side in every single situation. Because the tire burst on my vehicle, it prevented us from the accident. And I looked at it as a punishment towards me and not as being protected. I heard people mention that the reason why they are negative is because they will not be let down when things go wrong and will feel good when things go right. Now, instead of creating good things through abilities that they don't believe they have. So most people do not believe in themselves and think that good things are only created by others and not themselves, that their lives are ordinary. They believe that their lives are dependent on the actions of others and the things around them, but it's not true. You cannot separate yourself from yourself. And this means that the most sacred truth is violated when you do not consider yourself as your own kind. Now, if you fail to express love, you restrain your own actions and become negative at once. So I want to tell you, let yourself go. Because where there's love, there's communication. You can think that you're the most important person in this life and try and control everybody around you. But what you're actually doing is you're destroying yourself and you're destroying them. And maybe it won't happen now, but later it will. And you will destroy yourself for other people. And you will feel guilty, and it will pull you back into shame even more. So you're going to have a constant vicious circle. Or you can decide to live your life the best you can, benefiting yourself, being kind to yourself, and benefiting others around you, and healing yourself through thoughts. Creating a life that you desire through all of your positivity. Now, you can be loved through your loving actions and thoughts. I can guarantee you people are going to love you. You do not need to control them and manipulate others through ill thoughts or actions. People will do more for you if you act caring, compassionate, and lovingly. They will do more for you if you care about yourself and if you are positive. And if you laugh and you love life, if you're happy, so people know it, they'll pick it up and they will want to be with you. They will either question a situation or people will reject it if people have a skeptical outlook in life. Now, when I gave lectures at Helen Joseph Hospital, I walked down the passages of the hospital and noticed how many people are walking around with their heads looking down as if they're looking for money on the ground. And if they're not looking down, walking like that, They walked around with their heads up to the ceiling, feeling all high and mighty and important. I come across very few people that would walk with a smile and greet back. It is as if they're so caught up and trapped in this whirlwind of negativity around them that they became unaware of their life and everything in it. And unfortunately, that's how most people live. They live inside their heads, stuck in the past and stuck in the negativity of the past. They become caught up in emotions, and they get caught up in the emotions of being better than or being less than. And they have no idea how to live their lives. Some may say, well, you know what, today I'm going to be positive. That day may develop great until a colleague, a manager, patient says or does something that makes them angry, fearful, it makes them feel worthless, and it lowers their self-esteem. But that just spoiled their day. And what happens? They're going to go and they're going to spoil somebody else's positive day. So what happens next is people do not go back to feeling positive, but going back to the habit of being negative. And the general habit of people is because someone else spoils their day, they will now spoil everybody else's day they come across. This is not life. You're on a journey of life with twists and turns, a journey of accelerated learning, especially now, time is speeding up. And in all the wonder and all the excitement, the fears and the anxiety, it is important to stop and realize what life is all about. The life's accelerated learning is not about speed, but that of elegance and of excellence. Your destination is not to be better than or part of an elite group. Your destination is to be the beauty that you are inside, the way that you are meant to be when you were created. Now, in the midst of this journey, this life's journey, we all are dealing with constant crises. And as your journey begins, you're looking for the right stuff and looking for the potential, looking to be yourself, realizing that the consensus offered was not enough to respond to these crises. There is a need within all of us, and we need to respond to it. We deal with crises over and over on different levels. And the more one deals with the aspects, the more we try all methods on dealing with these crises, but we still experience negativity. And although you may feel that it is impossible to stop the negative thoughts, I'm here to tell you that you can. When you're on a path of growing, and it is, if you're listening to this now, then you're on that path of growing. You will experience negativity. When you experience a crisis, it means there has to be change. There has to be growth. And if this demand is not met, the crisis will not be resolved. Psychology these days is geared for you not to have a crisis. If you do have a crisis and you don't admit it, then you get yourself as soon as possible to a therapist. Because unresolved crisis will stay with you until it's resolved. If the crisis is not resolved, it will fester and it will destroy you. Now, if you're able to resolve the crisis, you can become stronger, more responsible, and this is how you stop negativity in its tracks. The health crisis is the one that reaches into the core of life. Health crisis can be one because of death, and those who will give up the will to live, giving to that root emotion that is within anger and fear and the loneliness, despair and the shame. The other crisis is the inner demand that happens so quickly that you cannot cope with a change fast enough. And this is a break in daily routines which are too strong and people cannot cope with it. Another big crisis is to desire or to find out who loves you. Some people become so consumed by the desire to find out who loves them that they are prepared to die for it. They are prepared to die so they can say, at least I know who loves me. Now I know who cares. Now I know who stuck by me. If you are determined to become a self-pitying person, to manipulate or control, there will come a time that you won't be able to function without it anymore. When your manipulation is exposed, or when you have to give it up, those who refuse to give it up will throw themselves into crisis. Whether it is one of these crises or some other emotion, and was change that is too rapid to handle, then you're not growing, you're not changing. The most profound crisis is the one where you are on the brink of manifesting your dream, manifesting your destiny, and it's the biggest crisis of success. Some have scared themselves silly because of it. They're scared of success, so they prevent their whole dream from manifesting. Now, I'm going to tell you the choice is yours. You can make that choice, and you can do it now and act on it, or you can let negativity control you and the others around you, silently working as destruction, or you can let it go. You decide. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you will, from this moment forward, see all the positive sides in life around you. When you see a situation, when you come across it, change, break from the past. Don't connect everything to the past. Look at it for what it is and look at the bigger picture. And do not get caught up and trapped in this moment of being negative now, but rather have a look at life positively. Thank you, and may you all be blessed, and keep yourself safe and be positive for those around you. Bye-bye.